If you are a Windows person, you can go ahead and skip this video entirely. It is not necessary for you. However, if you're on a Mac, it is very much useful and necessary if you haven't already figured out how to do this. So the first thing we're going to do is install Visual Studio Code. This is an editor that allows us to edit essentially just text files, but also do a lot more to help us program in C++. So go over to the URL, it is included in the resources for this lecture, and hit the Download Mac Universal button here. That will go ahead, and you need to allow it if you're doing this in Safari. It will go ahead and start a download process for Visual Studio Code. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and while Visual Studio Code is downloading, we're going to talk about some of the other things that we need to set off installing as well. One is Raylib. This is a library that we are going to use. A library is a set of tools that help us do our job more easily and more efficiently. It's a library for game development, so it allows us to simply create games in C++ without all the overhead of certain game engines. Now, this Raylib has a download button. We're not going to be using this on a Mac. This is how you do it over on a PC. To do it on a Mac, we need to go through a slightly different process using something called Homebrew, which is a package manager. It's essentially like an app store, but for the command line for the programmers. So what we need to do is go ahead and open up Spotlight and search for terminal. And we're going to open up a terminal window like this. So this is what my terminal looks like, and yours will look very much the same. What we're interested in is the bits that come after all of this gumph over here. That's what these are the commands that we're going to be typing into the terminal to tell the computer what to do. So the first thing we want to do is installing Homebrew is very easy, but you do need to use the terminal. You just go down to where it says installing Homebrew and you copy this line. There's a little copy to clipboard button to make it even easier for you. You go ahead and copy that, and then you switch over to your terminal and you can paste right in here into the terminal. That you can see there's the highlighted bit. That's what I've pasted. And that's what it's going to run. Now, don't worry, this isn't going to install any malware on your computer. Homebrew is perfectly safe. Just make sure you go to the URL that we link to in this lecture. Then you can go ahead and hit enter. And here you need to type in your password. Sometimes I don't manage it the first time round. And once you've typed in your password, it's going to print out a long list of the things that it is doing to install. And finally, it'll say something like press return to continue or any other key to abort. We want to continue. We want to carry on installing. So we're going to hit return. And this will install everything we need to install Homebrew. And then the next step will be to use Homebrew to install Raylib, which couldn't be simpler. So this is going and setting up right now, so we're going to leave this going, and I do suggest you follow along with me, get all these tools downloading rather than watching through the entire video, because now the download has completed for VS Code, or Visual Studio Code. I keep calling it VS Code because that is the abbreviation we tend to use. And what we want to do is, at the moment, it is sitting in our downloads folder, which is not the best place for it. We want to put it in our applications folder. So I'm going to go and open Finder. And in Finder, I have got an applications folder right here. You can see it's got all of your applications. I don't have many because I'm on a clean install here. And what we can do is we can drag Visual Studio Code from our downloads folder into the applications folder, and that's essentially the easiest it could be to install a piece of software on Mac. So we can then go ahead and spin up Visual Studio Code and see what that looks like. You'll need to give it permission to open an app from the internet. You'll only need to do this the first time you open it, and then this is what it looks like. Now, if you've ever had it installed before, there'll be a list of your projects and recent projects in here, but you can see you can select some themes and stuff like that. I'm going to keep it with the default dark theme at the moment. And this is Visual Studio Code. It's a very simple text editor at first, but then there's lots of depth to it, and we'll be exploring that throughout the course. So The one thing that we will need to install to make sure that we get the most help and support when writing C++ code is the C++ extension. So you go to this extensions button over here in the panel. Now the icon may change in future versions of VS Code, so just look for the one that says extensions. And then in here we want to search for C++. So look for C++ and the extension you are looking for is going to be one of the starred featured ones, and it is developed by Microsoft themselves, so make sure you get that, not any other kind of random extension. And you can go ahead and click install, and this will download and install the extension very rapidly, as you saw just there, into my editor, and that will mean we're good to go with C++. So while we're still waiting for Homebrew to install here, then what we're going to do is go over and get the template project that we are going to use to start all of our C++ projects in this course. So again, there's a link in the resources to this page here over on GitLab. This is where you can find the source code to all of our projects. This is where you can find the project files for all of the projects in this course. As you can see, they're named the same as the sections. And what we want to get hold of here is this VS Code template. So you don't need to log in or anything. You can just go click in to here. This is the project. And then we need to download this template file. So you go to this button here, which is the download button, and you can select what kind of download you want. Zip is probably the best way to go here on a Mac. We can just go ahead and allow downloads for this page, and you can see it's a very small file. It's gone and downloaded very quickly. Now, if we open this on a Mac, it will automatically extract the file and show us the file in our downloads folder. Now, I don't want to keep it in my downloads folder, so I'm going to open up a documents folder as well. And in my documents folder, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name it Game Dev. And I'm going to bring over that thing from our downloads. So let's get the downloads folder here, and it's called VS Code Template Main. So we're going to drag that over into our documents, and I'm going to drag it over into my Game Dev folder as a starting point. And then to open up this template, you can see we've got this main code workspace here. And if you double click this, it will automatically open this workspace up in VS Code. And you can go ahead and click allow to allow VS Code to have access to your documents folder. And then you also need to say, yes, I trust the authors in this case. Make sure when you're opening things up in VS Code, you do in fact trust the authors, because sometimes these projects could spawn up extensions that do malicious things. In this case, we hope that you trust us, so go ahead and hit trust. And you're going to be now ready in your VS Code template. And it's a workspace. What a workspace means is it's basically a folder with all of the setup necessary for compiling and working with the code. Now, don't worry if you don't know what compiling is just yet. We're going to get into all of this detail, but essentially this is your working space, your desktop, your area for working on C++. If I close this workspace, there is an alternative way of getting here. So if I was in my original window and I go to File and Open Workspace, then I can actually just navigate this way to my Documents folder, to Game Dev, and then the VS Code Template Main, and I can select my code workspace from within here as well to open the file. So if at this point the installation for Homebrew has finished for you, congratulations, you've got a faster internet connection than I do. However, if it hasn't, do go ahead and pause the video, and we will continue with the installation process once the download has finished. Okay, so once your download has finished, this is what you should see. You should see essentially the same line, empty line that we were seeing before, where it says something about your username and your computer's name here, and it's saying the installation is successful and all this good stuff. So now we have Homebrew installed, and we can install Raylib using it. So the way we do this is simply to do brew, or type brew space install space Raylib. It's a very simple command, spaces in between, brew, install Raylib, make sure you spell it correctly, and then you hit enter. And that's going to go ahead and download Raylib. It's going to install it and set up all of the environments that are required for Raylib. And as you can see, it's not a lot that's required for Raylib because it does it very quickly while I was just talking there. So brew is the main thing that takes some time to install, but once you've done that, installing Raylib is a cinch. So we've made great progress in this lecture. We've installed VS Code. We've seen how to set it up for C++ development. We've also installed Raylib via Homebrew, and we've been able to open our template project ready to write our first program, which is going to come up in the next lecture. If you